Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we going over Rslash, am I the butthole? And if you don't want to be a butthole, subscribe to the channel. I am male 26, been sharing an apartment with a mid/30s, single mom of 2 boys for 6 months. The rent is cheap in the area compared to other places. I've been struggling financially despite working full-time. I have a ton of responsibilities including taking care of my dad's medical bills. So I had no choice but to pick the cheapest apartment. Although I'm not usually too thrilled to be around kids, but her boys are lovely. She welcomed me and treated me well. However, I noticed that she'd do things that I find a bit disrespectful. Like walking into my room, letting her kids into my room, taking things from there without consent. I talked to her about it but no use. She'd have me do things for her boys. It started as few favors. Like cooking for the kids cause they love my cooking, taking them to the park, doing their laundry, playing with them. Then she'd ask me to fix her window, get her phone fixed, driving her places. I noticed that she made some sort of schedule for me, preparing coffee, watching a movie with her every Thursday, tucking the kids in bed and making sure they brushed their teeth, showered. I felt like I was their dad. She'd send them into my room to wake me and tell me to get them ready for school. And if I have time to drop them off, pick them up. I told my friend about this and she told me to not hurt my roommate by saying anything hurtful and just be considerate of her feeling. Because she's a struggling single mom, so I needed to continue to help. Yesterday I was at the hospital all day. My dad was very sick. I returned to the apartment late around 12 a.m. I was surprised to see her sitting in the kitchen waiting for me, looking upset. I said hi and went straight to my room, but she started asking why I was late and where I was all day. I said excuse me? Then she went on about how I should have returned at 6 p.m., spent time with the kids, ate dinner with her. She said the kids were upset and that I should have tucked them in bed, but I was late. I was shocked and mad. I said I had a family emergency and she yelled that I should have at least called her. I lost it. I blew up on her. Told her I'm not her boyfriend or husband and that I don't need to get her consent to go anywhere. I reminded her that she's nothing but a roommate to me and she overstepped hugely. That I had enough and will be moving out soon. She stared at me in disbelief. Started crying, then walked into her room and slammed the door. Today my friend called me telling me I was an asshole to yell at this poor lady and I shouldn't have told her that I'll be moving out because this will cause her to struggle with paying rent and have no one to help. I insisted to move out. But everyone I know started berating me, saying I can't do this to the kids and called me cruel to walk out on them like that. So OP, let me get it straight. You're a roommate or her baby daddy? With all the help you provided already, you're not the butthole. It's like the worst deal ever. It's like you've been a husband for 30 years, no benefits, just responsibilities. So OP, let me get it straight. You're a roommate or her baby daddy? With all the help you provided already, you're not the butthole. It's like the worst deal ever. It's like you've been a husband for 30 years, no benefits, just responsibilities. Years later, I had a daughter, F8. When she was born, I kept my promise. I raised her with the respect and care I wish I received from my parents, and thankfully my husband always supported me. I always made sure she felt safe to tell me anything. She's very polite and well behaved and I can clearly see that it isn't out of fear, like it used to be with me. It makes me so happy and proud to see that I really managed to break the cycle. My husband works all day, so when my daughter isn't at school and I have somewhere to go, I leave her with my parents. Ever since she was born, I always made it clear that I didn't want them to treat her like they used to treat me. They seemed to understand and to be willing to change, so I decided to give them a chance. 3 days ago, my daughter spent the afternoon with them while I went to a medical appointment. When I came back to pick her up, what I saw made me flinch. My mom, F63, was yelling at her, for no reason at all. She was extremely quiet the whole time my mom yelled, like I used to do. I didn't say anything, just picked her up and left. When I entered the car with her, she started crying. I tried to comfort her before I started driving home and asked her what exactly happened. She said she loved her grandparents, but they'd often get angry and start being rude to her for no reason, even though she was always gentle with them. And to make it worse, I asked her why she had never told me about it, and she said my parents told her not to. They were basically doing to her exactly what they used to do to me. When we got home, I explained to my husband the whole situation, and he got just as angry as me. We decided to call my mom later, after I put my daughter to sleep. I asked her why she did exactly what I told her not to, and her answer was, again, exactly what she used to say to me, I just am like that. And then, the worst thing I ever heard her say, if I don't yell, she won't learn. That's just real life. So I made a decision. I said I didn't want her nor my dad near my daughter, at least until they started changing their behavior. She said I couldn't keep them from seeing her, but I said I was just trying to protect her from having her mental health fucked up by them like I had. Then I hung up. Part of me says I did the right thing, but I can't stop thinking that maybe I was too harsh. I was just trying to protect my daughter. So Reddit, am I the butthole? So OP you're not he butthole. Pretty simple. There's a park by our house that has bridges over a creek. They're very popular for photo shoots. Today we took our dogs for a walk. We're on our usual trail and we get to the bridge and a photographer is set up. They've blocked it with props and a happy birthday banner. You can't keep walking without crossing it. The other choice is walking back to the start and taking another trail. We walk up figuring they'll let us through, but they don't move, they don't offer, and they don't acknowledge us. We say fudge it and just go back to the other trail. After about 30 minutes walking we head out the park via our original trail as a habit I think. We get to the bridge and I see the photo shoot and think fudge I forgot about these people, but we're tired and our dogs too, so I ask to get through. They're not even photographing. They're taking a break cause the toddler is crying, but they ignore me, so I ask again. They start talking Spanish to each other, so I ask in Spanish and still they play dumb. I approach the photographer and say look, I need to cross with my dogs. I went back the other way earlier but we're tired and I'm not going back. Let us through. She complains about dismantling her props. I say just take the banner off then put it back. She's not budging, so I ask if she has a permit that allows her to block the bridge and she says no. I say okay then take your banner off and let us through please. Instead of taking one banner off they get angry, remove everything and say they're gonna go to another bridge. I say I don't care, just let me through. I don't think I'm the butthole, but I have visions of Karens. I was never impolite or raised my voice though. But I was annoyed. So am I the butthole? Next post from the user. It's FateHag12, me 47M and my wife 52F have 16-year-old son. My wife is very overprotective mom. This particular incident happened 2 days ago. Our son got home with a pink hair dye, and when my wife asked what that was about he said he was going to dye his hair pink. Of course that was followed up by a 3-hour fight. My wife's reasoning is that he'll ruin his hair color. Naturally he has really light, almost white hair and it's pretty long. I think it's fine, it's hair, it'll grow again, it's not gonna run anywhere. They argued for hours and our son ended up locking himself in his room. This is not the first time something like this has happened, and I'm honestly just as tired as my son is. He has to argue with my wife about everything. I mean, if 16-year-old wants to wear some ripped shirt and spiky necklace, he shouldn't have to fight with her mom about it. Everyone wore dumb stuff like that in their teenage years. When I stand up for him my wife berates us both and acts like I'm against her. I've talked to her multiple times calmly but it doesn't seem to work. So after they finished fighting I told her she was just acting ridiculous now and it was getting to the point that her own son doesn't want to talk to her anymore. I told her that I'm his parent too and if she has say in his decisions I have as much of a say. She got extremely upset and started crying about how I should always stick up for my wife. Hey OP, I don't think you're a butthole. And I agree with the user. Lil_puddles. In the comments. Not the butthole. There's no reason why you should stick up for your wife just because she's your wife. That's a ridiculous attitude emo. You called her out on her trash, and she got mad. This is going to require much more communication by the sounds of it. Am I the butthole for threatening to call the cops on my sister? So I've been babysitting over the winter break for my neighbors. I was saving up my money so I could buy my own Nintendo Switch. We have a family Switch in the TV room but my dad is always playing Zelda and I never get to use it. Anyway, I have enough to get a Switch Lite. I was waiting to find a pink one. A few days ago I found a pink Hoey at Walmart and was going to buy it. When I went into my drawer to get my envelope with my WinIt $340. I found it only had $40 in it. My heart sank. I was so upset I started crying and screaming. I knew right away what happened. I asked my sister and she admitted to borrowing it. I was so mad. I told her she has 2 days to get my money back or I will call the cops on her. My parents are taking her side. Just as they always do. I was told I am not going to do anything cause she needed it. I'm so mad and hurt right now. WIBTA if I reported her? ETA I'm 13F she's 23F ETA thank you everyone. I've got so many responses. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now. I'm going to go lie down for a bit. OP, you're not the butthole. And I agree with the user Paraspants in the comments below. The easy solution would be to borrow the family Switch as collateral until the family enabling the loan pays off back. But unfortunately, asking for that, demanding that, or doing it herself in secret might have serious blowback. Just as calling the cops would. Just because something is justified doesn't always make it the best solution, unfortunately. But OP will remember this for the rest of her life and it'll affect family relations going forward. which may be something for all involved to consider. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And here, enjoy a video of a goose.